Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to Crime Zone. As you may or may not be aware, Luke and I are taking a much-needed vacation this week, and as a result, won't be doing our normal releases. However, instead of just leaving you all with nothing, we thought it might be cool to instead make a compilation video of some of the international cases that we thought were the most tragic, interesting, and memorable from the month of May. Keep in mind that the segments have not been edited since they appeared in their respective lists, so references to specific days of the week as well as other small details may no longer apply. We hope you enjoy this list, but if you're craving more crime news, don't worry. We'll be back to our usual schedule next week.
Authorities in West Sussex say that they are currently searching for the culprits who stole several historical items from the Arundel Castle last week, including a set of gold rosary beads that belonged to Mary Queen of Scots. Police were alerted about the heist at approximately 10:30 p.m. last Friday night when an alarm went off inside the castle. When they arrived just minutes later, there was no sign of the thieves anywhere, but a display case that had formerly held the rosary had been smashed. The item is significant because it was held by Mary Queen of Scots during her execution in 1587. Few other artifacts belonging to the former queen are still in existence, as following her execution, most of her possessions were destroyed over fear that she would become a Catholic martyr and that the items would become relics. A set of coronation cups that Mary had once given as a gift were also stolen in the heist. The total value of the artifacts has been estimated to be over £1 million, but historians say they are priceless. Despite the smash-and-grab nature of the heist, investigators say they believe that the thieves must have had inside knowledge about the castle. They appeared to know how to avoid security cameras and even disabled some of them during the crime. Though 2 security guards were on duty that night, the thieves reportedly entered through a window. Police say that they found an abandoned car on fire in the nearby village of Barlavington on the night of the heist that they believe is linked to the crime and are currently looking for additional clues. Anyone with additional information about the case has been encouraged to reach out to Sussex Police.
Authorities in Bangkok say that a woman has been arrested and sentenced to 9 months in prison this week after she admitted to stealing lottery tickets from a blind seller several times near the end of last year. Police say that 57-year-old Sumali Muangplem targeted the blind man multiple times between November 25th and 27th as he sold lottery tickets in the underground Sudison rail station. Visually impaired residents of the city often sell lottery tickets as a way to earn income. According to reports, Muangplem managed to pull off her theft by approaching the man and using sleight of hand, grabbing multiple tickets at once but making it sound like she was only grabbing one. She carried used tickets in her other hand, which she would exchange for the one she had taken, pretending as though she had only grabbed a single ticket. Throughout the scam, she would engage in conversation with the victim, while quietly sliding the stolen tickets into her purse so that no one else would notice what she was up to. In all, it is estimated she stole about 450 tickets from the man, worth roughly 45,000 baht, or approximately $1,400 US. In addition to the sentence, she was ordered to return the tickets or pay the man back for the cost of the stolen goods. Despite the sentence, authorities say that the man in Sudison Station was far from Muangplem's only victim. She reportedly targeted numerous blind sellers and other train stations around the city, though it is not clear how much was stolen in those other cases. Hong Kong police say that they have arrested one man and are searching for another after an embarrassing botched robbery attempt at a money-lending company earlier this week. The incident took place on Monday, when a 27-year-old unemployed man and his accomplice, who is believed to be in his 30s, showed up at the Shengshui branch of the money-lending firm known as Promise. After entering, the men demanded 200 million Hong Kong dollars, or roughly $26 million US, from employees. However, the men were quickly turned away after employees noticed the would-be robber's bizarre choice of weapon in the heist: a plastic water gun. According to reports, this was no convincing replica either. The toy was transparent blue and obviously made out of plastic. The men fled the store after employees declined to hand over the cash, and police were called. As if that weren't bad enough, The 27-year-old soon returned to the location, this time armed with a pen. He jumped the counter and threatened an employee with it, but police soon arrived and he was arrested. His toy gun was also taken by police. Though the man reportedly has no history of mental illness, police have said he might be sent to a hospital anyway for psychological evaluation. Thankfully, no one was hurt and nothing was stolen as a result of the strange crime. This week, authorities in the South African city of Durban announced that 3 men had been arrested after a failed hijacking attempt on a local Uber driver. The incident unfolded on Tuesday night when 3 suspects between the ages of 20 and 30 attempted to steal the Uber driver's vehicle, but were met with violent resistance. Though the would-be thieves were apparently armed with a gun, the driver managed to respond quickly to the situation, stabbing them with a sharp object repeatedly and causing them to flee into a nearby bush. The attempted carjacking was immediately reported to the police, who managed to track down the suspects at a hospital in the city's central business district. 2 of them had reportedly sustained serious injuries. A gun with its serial number filed off was also recovered from the suspects. According to police, the suspects are also wanted in connection with another carjacking that took place in the township of Inanda last month. All 3 of the men are expected to appear in court soon on charges of attempted carjacking.
Authorities in New South Wales say that a 27-year-old woman is in critical condition this week after she was viciously attacked by a colleague in the kitchen of a busy cafe. According to reports, police were notified about the incident at approximately 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday and were called to the scene at the Onyx Espresso Bar in the Newcastle suburb of Mayfield. The 27-year-old woman, whose name has not been released at the time of this recording, was allegedly attacked by another employee at the location, 23-year-old Adrian Stratton. Investigators say that Stratton hit the woman with a metal pipe and fire extinguisher before stabbing her in the chest with a large knife. The knife was still embedded in the woman's chest when emergency service workers arrived on the scene, and she was quickly rushed to hospital where she underwent surgery. At the time of this recording, she appears to be in critical but stable condition. Stratton has since been charged with attempted murder and may also undergo a psychiatric evaluation. It is unclear what, if anything, motivated this brutal attack.
This week, authorities from El Salvador's Attorney General's office announced further gruesome details in the case of accused serial killer Hugo Ernesto Osorio Chavez. Chavez, a 51-year-old former police officer, was initially arrested at the beginning of May for the murders of 2 men and 2 women in the town of Chalchuapa. However, as police further inspected his home as part of their investigation, they began to discover the full horror of the situation. Authorities now say that they have uncovered the bodies of at least 13 additional people, concealed in a well on Chavez's property. So far, not much information has been released about these 13 victims, but it has been said that 9 of them are female and 4 are male. All of the women were reportedly sexually assaulted before their murders. Police say that some of the killings date back 2 years or more, and that there still may be even more victims to find. The prosecutor's office also announced this week that they have accused 10 people of having some involvement in the murders, though the exact nature of that involvement has not been reported. 9 of the accused have since been detained, while 1 remains at large. According to the reports we read, Chavez has a prior criminal history. In 2012, he was caught after he met a minor at a shopping center who he planned to pay for sex. After that, he was expelled from the police force. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about this case is that Chavez's neighbors considered him to be a relatively normal figure in the neighborhood prior to his recent arrest. Representatives from Italy's Carabinieri police announced that they have arrested 3 people on Wednesday, following a devastating cable car crash that took the lives of 14 people. The incident took place last Sunday on a cable car line that connects the resort town of Stresa on Lake Maggiore to Matarone Mountain. At approximately 12:30 p.m., as one of the gondolas neared the end of its 20-minute journey up the mountain, a cable snapped and the gondola fell 65 feet to the ground, killing almost everyone on board. The sole survivor is said to be a 5-year-old Israeli boy whose father managed to shield him from the impact with his own body. Adding further weight to the tragedy, as authorities began to investigate the crash, they realized that there was more to it than simple mechanical failure. Police alleged that the emergency brakes of the gondola were purposely disabled, and that a fork-shaped clamp had been placed on the system to stop it from operating. This had supposedly been done because the brake system had not been working properly prior to the accident, and kept kicking in when it wasn't supposed to. In order to keep the cable car running and avoid delays, the brake system had been tampered with. Though the 3 men who have been arrested have not yet been named, they have been identified as 2 managers and a director of the company that manages the cable car line. The men allegedly knew that the brake system had been tampered with, but believed that the cable carrying the gondola would never snap. While the exact cause of the cable break is not known, due to the disabling of the emergency brakes, the gondola was sent speeding backward at the time that it snapped. It reportedly reached speeds of over 60 miles per hour before being catapulted off of its support wires. The 3 men arrested this week could soon face charges of involuntary manslaughter and negligence. Authorities in the Russian city of Kazan say that 9 people are dead this week following a terrifying mass shooting at a local school. The attack reportedly began just after 9:20 a.m. on Tuesday, when 19-year-old Ilnaz Galyevyev showed up at the city's school number 175 and opened fire on those inside. He was reportedly armed with a semi-automatic shotgun. According to witnesses, the attack caused mass confusion and panic. Teachers and other school workers attempted to shut doors and windows frantically as students tried to take cover or simply ran for their lives. A total of 7 children and 2 adults were killed in the attacks. All 7 of the students killed are believed to have been in the 8th grade and were around 15 years of age. At least 2 of them allegedly died while leaping from the school's 2nd floor windows to try and get to safety. One of the adults that died in the attack has been identified as an English teacher in her mid-20s named Elvira Ignatieva, who was killed while attempting to shield one of the children. In addition to the 9 deceased victims, more than 20 others were hospitalized after the attack, most of whom ranged in age from 7 to 15 years old. The suspect was taken into custody by police at the scene. So far, it remains unclear what motivated the attack, but it has been said that Galyevyev was a former student of the school. The horrifying incident has shocked not just the city, but the entire country. These kinds of incidents are reportedly extremely rare in Russia. Still, based on the nature of the attack, calls have quickly been made by many to reevaluate the country's gun control laws, as well as the security measures taken at schools. Russian President Vladimir Putin has since pledged to work out new regulations for firearms, as well as the types of weapons that can be owned by civilians. Galyevyev is said to have legally purchased the firearm used in the attacks less than 2 weeks before the shootings. That brings us to the end of this edition of Crimes of the Month International. Are there any other international crimes from May that you think should have made our recap? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, if you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next week when we get back from vacation.